trusted souls, and thank you for joining me, the Oracle of Apollo, Pythia. So, Selene and I had a conversation. Selene is the Grecian moon goddess, and she also she predates Artemis, which is Apollo's twin sister, but also the moon goddess. And you see Lala in the background with me today. I figured you guys hear them all the time. Might as well just see what she's doing. So, her and I had a conversation the other day, and it made me really understand a lot of things about the shadow. And there's this misunderstanding that the shadow is just like this big bad thing, this part of ourselves that we don't talk about. And the shadow's not that at all. So this is some clarity that she actually gave me that I wanted to share with you guys. So as I channeled her, I tried to write everything down, and I wrote it down on my laptop. So I'm going to go ahead and read that to you guys, and I will. So without the shadow, we would have no shade in ourselves. There would be no contrast to the light. But our assumption of the light is that it's always what serves us. This is the misconception. Our shadow holds feelings like guilt and remorse, yes, pain and troubles. But if we peeled away our shadow and lose those feelings that are the not so good to feel feelings, we begin to create a moral paradox. We begin to see a world without consequences. A world where morality, the thought of morality, is an antiquated way of thinking, and a perverted view that the use of the shadow is for those who are afraid of their own individual greatness. The ego goes on a overactive scale at this point, and now takes over and begins to feel its way around in its new world. Desire, being a trait of fire, as well, it becomes out of balance, and we take everything we deem fit. As we now no longer have a moral compass to help us develop our intuitive understanding, which is of the moon side, the lunar side, the understanding of people's needs, feelings, and etc. This intuitive understanding filters through the emotional centers, or the power energy centers, that you might know them as chakras. And only after then is when we can logically have some grasp on it. It is when this integrates into a long-term memory that allows us to learn and implement what would now be a part of our current moral compass. So you see here, she's explaining that the experience has to filter through the chakras in order to become part of the long-term memory, integrating, because now you have logic, emotion side by side, or understanding each other and integrating, become part of your whole. And now you have now you've learned something. Now you've gained an insight. How they say our lessons are our blessings as well. That is because we have learned and gained knowledge from it, which is putting us through experience from knowledge to wisdom. So I wanted to share that with you guys. She also talks about beauty and explains to me why beauty is actually on the lunar side, and many people think that beauty comes from the sun side, the divine masculine side. But it doesn't, because on the lunar side is where creativity, nurturing, mothering comes from. So it's easy to see why that would come from the lunar side. So this is what she says about beauty. Beauty is on the moon side, as beauty is obscure. I thought beauty would have been on the sun side for obvious reasons, and that was my thinking. But beauty, she says, it stems from our ability to intuitively recognize depths. As we are reviewing truly a reflection of ourselves. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, because clearly we cannot put beauty into a box. And we all have a different understanding of what this word means. Beauty is created within the depths of infinite possibility. It begins in a void, as do all beautiful things. And this emerges from the dark, as the lily emerges from the mud. A seed is placed within the darkness, which is by all means the correct circumstances. And then the seed must destroy itself to free itself from the confines of that dark, to be able to then push forward and reach the surface to the light, so that it may finally be seen out of the world of imagination, creation, and all things possible, which is what lies in the realm of the shadow, and that is from Selene. So I just wanted to let you guys hear that. What are your thoughts? Have you talked to Selene, the moon goddess? Do you invoke her? Do you use her? Do you ask her for protection or to watch your children? What do you think about the shadow and the light? Do you think it really means good or bad? I would love to hear what your opinions or misconceptions that you previously may have had about this are. Okay. On your path, may you go in love, light, and wisdom. Know thyself, love thyself, and remember that the divine always has your back. Ciao.